Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Padantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Judapada Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamcha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Shahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Shavarutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakhanvitam Cha Hey Krishna Karuna Shindu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kantha Radha Kantha Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangungam Hayate Girim Jat Kripa Tamahang Bande Sri Gurun Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Charaneshwar Hare Krishna. So welcome to our English Bhakti Sastri class. So today we are continuing our discussion on the second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, where in the previous class we have discussed how Lord Krishna defeated Arjuna's first argument not to fight using Sankhya philosophy, Gyan, Atma Tattva Gyan, that there is no death for the soul. Yeah. So there's no reason for Arjuna to lament because he is lamenting for the body of Bhismadev, of Dronacharya, and all his relatives. But Krishna gives the understanding that actually the soul is eternal and we are not the body. So no one is being killed and nobody is killing here. So just fine. So today we are going to see further arguments by Krishna to break Arjuna's reason not to fight. Yeah. So from text number 31 to 38, Krishna will talk about karma kanda to defeat Arjuna's argument of enjoyment. Yeah. So karma kanda, by prescribed duties, gain material enjoyment. So we have to be clear here in this section that actually Krishna is not speaking on the transcendental level. Yeah. Sometimes when we preach, not everybody is agreed to accept, not everybody is ready to accept transcendental knowledge. So we have to see the person to whom we preach. Yeah. So accordingly we adjust like what we should say. So in this session, after defeating Arjuna's arguments by knowledge of the eternality of the soul, Krishna now takes a different approach. Even if Arjuna identifies with his body by fighting as a Kshatriya, he will be happy. Krishna thus refers to karma kanda teachings to primarily defeat Arjuna's second argument, which is enjoyment. Krishna explains that if Arjuna fights, he will find enjoyment. But if he doesn't, he will incur sin reaction. He will incur sinful reaction and infamy. Krishna also touches on Arjuna's other arguments, compassion and sinful reaction. Verse 32 speaks of the gains Arjuna would get by fighting, and verses 33 to 37 describe the losses he will incur by avoiding his duty. Okay, so we will start text number 31. Swadharmam apichavechya navikampitum arhasi Dharmya dhi yuddha chayonyat kshatriyasya navidyate. Translation. Considering your specific duty as kshatriya, you should know that there is no better engagement for you than fighting on religious principles. And so there is no need for hesitation. So here, the word swadharma is very important. Swadharma means occupational duty. So Krishna has created the Chatur Varna Maya Srishta. Yeah, Krishna mentioned that Krishna creates the Varnashram system for us actually to be happy in the material world. Just like the government of India. Yeah, the government of India create the rules that if you want to use the road, use the left side, right? Use the left side. Okay, in a country like Cambodia or in America, for example, in Russia also, so people drive using the right side of the road. But here in India or in Thailand, in Indonesia, Malaysia, we are using the left side. So just like these rules provided by the government, and the purpose is that to regulate the road user. Yeah, to regulate the road user, so to avoid as much as possible any accident. So similarly, the Varnashram Dharma, the Varnashram system created by Krishna himself. For what purpose? For our own happiness. So we follow the system. Yeah, we follow the system. If we break the rules, then we will suffer. Just like if we use the right side of the road very fast in India, so you will get accident. So similarly, Varnashram is also like that. Varnashram is none other than actually culture, Vedic culture. So lifestyle. So in this case, as Kshatriya, Arjuna, Krishna mentioned that there is no better engagement than you to fight. Just do your swadharma. Swadharma means your occupational duty. There is swadharma, there is paradharma. So swadharma means swa means our and para means others. Therefore, later we'll find in chapter 3, Krishna explained to Arjuna that Srayam swadharma vi guna paradharma swanustita. Better to perform your own duty, although it is imperfect, than to follow others' duty perfect. So here, Srila Prabhupada is explaining about the word kshatriya. Yeah. So Arjuna being kshatriya, there is no better engagement for him just to fight, not simply fighting using his own whims, but using on the basis of religious principle, yeah, dharma. So kshatriya, kshat means heart. One who gives protection from harm is called kshatriya. So trayate means to give protection. Just like mantra. Yeah, mantra. Man means mind. Tra stand for trayate. So any mantra that we recite, that we chant, that's actually meant to help us to control our mind. So mantra. And then Maha Mantra, the great mantra, yeah, that will help our mind. So Kshatriya means one who protects others from harm. Killing animals in the sacrificial fire are not at all considered to be acts of violence because everyone is benefited by religious principles involved. The animal sacrifice gets a human life immediately without undergoing the gradual evolutionary process from one form to another. So this is regarding the killing animals, yeah, animal killing. That when it is allowed, yes, only for the purpose of yagya. But why Lord Buddha appeared? Just to stop the animal killing. So the animal killing actually was misled actually. Eventually, when Kali Yuga started, so many people become corrupted and we don't find any practically speaking, any qualified Brahmana to perform yajna. Therefore, animal killing, the so-called animal sacrifice on the name of yajna, on the name of religion, should be stopped. Because those days, even nowadays, up to nowadays also, animal killing on the name of sacrifice is actually meant only for satisfaction of the tongue. Therefore, Lord Buddha appeared to stop the animal killing. Yeah. So in Kali Yuga, actually, there are five activities which are prohibited. Yeah. Aswamedam, Gawalambam, Sannyasam, Palapaitrikam, Devarena Sutopatim, Kalopancha Vivarjaya. So Aswamedam means sacrificing a horse in yajna. Aswamedam Gawalambam, sacrificing cows. Sannyasam, taking up the order of sannyas. Sannyasam, Palapaitrikam, offering pinda in the form of meat to the forefather. This is not allowed in Kali Yuga. And the last one is that Devarena Sutopati. So to beget a child in the womb of one's how do you say this? In one's brother's wife. There is a practice, an ancient practice, that if you have brother and he's married, but somehow or other he passed away, or he cannot beget a child, so you can help your brother to beget a child by having sexual intercourse with his wife. So that was allowed, but in Kali Yuga it is not allowed. So now we may ask question, what about sannyas? In ISKCON there are so many sannyasis. Why? Well, whatever performed for the satisfaction of Krishna, that should be done. It should be done. And of course, animal killing is not at all approved nowadays. And here, Srila Prabhupada touching this point that regarding the animal killing, so both actually benefited. One who performs the yajna, one who kills the animal, and also the animal which is killed. The animal which is killed immediately get a human form of life, get promotion. So those days, the Brahmana who sacrificed the animal, actually, they create the fire through mantra. Yeah, by chanting some mantra, they create fire. I was attending one initiation ceremony, and then, of course, the priest light up the fire, and somehow or other he poured too much ghee, and the fire just extinguished. He was looking around for another matchbox to set up the fire again. So, and many of our priests now, they recite the mantras, like still reading the books, you know. But those days, like simply create a fire, they use mantra. Yeah. So that's the proof. Actually, in Kali Yuga, there is no qualified Brahmana to perform yajna. Therefore, the animal killing on the name of sacrifice should be stopped. Okay, text number 32. Yadrit chaya chupapanam swarga dwaram apavritam sukinam kshatriya patha labhante yudhame Krishna. Now, this is the exact word that Lord Krishna used here, swarga dwaram apavritam, defeating Arjuna's second reason not to fight, which is enjoyment. O Partha, happy are the Kshatriyas to whom such fighting opportunities come unsought, opening for them the doors of the heavenly planets. So for a Kshatriya, if they fight on the battlefield, so if they win, they will get the kingdom, and if they die, they will go to heaven because they're performing their duties. So now Arjuna's reason not to fight is because of enjoyment. Arjuna is thinking, what is the use of gaining this kingdom? After all, we kill our kinsmen, grandfather Bhishma, Dronacharya. We kill them, then there is no enjoyment. But Krishna mentioned here that Swarga Dwaram Apavritam. So they will be happy, Sukhina, they will be happy. If they die, they will go to heaven. Then still you can be happy. After all, they go to heaven. Yeah. So there is no reason of lamenting here, Arjuna. Because if they win, they will get the kingdom. If they kill by you, they will go to heaven because they perform their duty. Yeah. They perform their duty. They are promoted to the heavenly kingdom. Therefore, fight. Krishna says, Yudham Idrisam. Just fight. Considering all aspects, Arjuna had no reason to refrain from fighting. If he should conquer his enemies, he would enjoy the kingdom. And if he should die in the battle, he would be elevated to the heavenly planets, whose doors were wide open to him. Again, I'm saying that at this point, Krishna is talking about karma kanda, not on the transcendental platform. So earlier we find that Arjuna even he went to heavenly planet. Yeah. Then what is the use of Krishna promising Arjuna here? If you die, you will get heaven. It's easy for Arjuna just go to heaven because he went already to heaven. He stayed there for 5 days. Yeah. He learned the art of dancing. Yeah. He learned, and then he got the Gandiva from Indra. Yeah. So for Arjuna, heaven is easily to obtain. So also for devotees, actually. For devotees, we are not very much enthusiastic of gaining heaven because after all, heaven still, in the realm of material world, still giving us bondage. A lot of anxieties in heaven also. People think that if we go to heaven, we'll become so happy. Yes, there's happiness, but also there are a lot of anxieties. So when the demons attack heaven, so they are full of anxieties. Even when Vishwamitra Muni performed austerities, Indra becomes agitated. Indra becomes in anxiety. Oh, this Vishwamitra Muni performing austerities, he may occupy my position. I don't want that. And then he sent Menaka. Still a lot of anxieties. So therefore, devotee is not so eager to go to heaven. Yeah. But this section, of course, applicable for the karma kandis. Yeah. At least something better than nothing. Yeah. Text number 33. If, however, you do not perform this religious duty of fighting, then you will certainly incur sins for neglecting your duties and thus lose your reputation as a fighter. So if one doesn't perform his duty, of course, he'll get sins. Yeah. Just like if we work in some company, then we have some certain duties. If we neglect our duties, then our boss will become angry. We may get fired also. Yeah, similarly, when we get material body, so we have some material occupation also, and we have to perform that. We should not neglect that. Yeah. Otherwise, we may incur sins. And another thing that Krishna mentioned here also about reputation. So for Kshatriya, reputation is very, very important. Yeah. Reputation is very important for Kshatriya. When a Kshatriya being defamed, that's actually as good as death for them. Yeah. Kshatriya doesn't like to be insulted by others. It is described that when, what is his name? Duryodhana. Yeah, Duryodhana. Because he was so, such a demoniac person and he doesn't want anybody above him. So one time he was stand directly under the sun. So one of his assistants brought an umbrella and he became so upset. Nobody can be above my head. including umbrella. This is an insult for Duryodhana, just an umbrella. All right. And then text 34, people will always speak of your infamy. And for a respectable person, dishonor is worse than death. Yeah, here it is exactly. For Kshatriya, dishonor is worse than death. Better they die. Yeah, better they die. But then we may ask question, as devotee, why Arjuna should care about infamy, respect, and so on. Every day we chant the prayer that Trinadapi Suni Chena Tarorapi Saisuna. We have to be humble, lower than grass, more tolerant than a tree. Then why here Lord Krishna is emphasizing to Arjuna about being infamy, being dishonor, respect, and so on. So come back to the first point that here Krishna is not speaking on the transcendental level. Yeah. Lord Krishna is speaking to a person who is materially affected by the three modes of material nature. And then text 34, the great generals who have highly esteemed your name and fame will think that you have left the battlefield out of fear only, and thus they will consider you insignificant. Yeah. So Arjuna's intention of being compassionate, because Arjuna doesn't want to kill them. But Krishna says here that, well, your compassion, your so-called compassion, may be taken wrongly by others. You have this compassion, but others may think that, oh, Arjuna is just a coward. He's afraid of fighting. What kind of Kshatriya he is? So Krishna says that to Arjuna. You may have genuine compassion, but other Kshatriyas will think that, oh, you are just not real Kshatriya. You are not a man. Yeah, you are just a coward. You just want to run away from the battle. Text 36, your enemy will describe you in many unkind words and scorn your ability. What could be more painful for you? So everybody knows Arjuna's ability. So during the graduation ceremony, yeah, when we study in the college, in the school, after study, there will be graduation. So similarly also, the Pandavas and the Kauravas, during the graduation ceremony, so they exhibit their talent, what they have learned from Dronacharya. The Kshatriyas, the Kauravas, they exhibit their skills and expertise and how they control the weapons, yeah, heavenly weapons, yeah, divine weapons. So Arjuna was, the topmost amongst all the Pandavas and the Kauravas. Yeah. Text number 37, O son of Kunti, either you will be killed on the battlefield and attain the heavenly planets, or you will conquer and enjoy the earthly kingdom. Therefore, get up with determination and fight. So earlier we found the last reason for Arjuna is that he was in dilemma, indecision, whether will be defeated by the Kauravas party or Arjuna should defeat them. Yeah, but Krishna here mentioned that whether you will be killed or you will kill. If you kill, again, you go to heaven. If you win, you get the kingdom. Text 38. Do thou fight for the sake of fighting without considering happiness or distress, loss or gain, victory or defeat. And by so doing, you shall never incur sin. Yeah, so here slightly Lord Krishna is touching about Arjuna's third reason, which is sinful reaction. Yeah. So when one is performing his duty without being attached to the result, then he's actually not affected by sin. Yeah, this is called Buddhi Yoga. The next part of our discussion today is about Buddhi Yoga also. That how to become free from sins is by performing Buddhi Yoga or Krishna consciousness or being detached from the result. Yeah. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explained that when karma and gyan combine together, that becomes niskarma karma yoga. So niskarma karma means you perform karma, but without karma, without desire for the result of your activities. So our mood in Krishna consciousness is just like that. We perform service just for the sake of pleasing Krishna. Okay, that's the topmost understanding, that's the topmost realization. But if we don't have this mood of pleasing Krishna, just perform your duty because that's your duty. Yeah. Without any expectation for the result. All right. This is Srila Prabhupada's purport. Lord Krishna now directly says that Arjuna should fight for the sake of fighting because he desires the battle. So Krishna desires the battle. Okay. There is no consideration of happiness or distress, profit or gain, or victory or defeat in the activities of Krishna consciousness, that everything should be performed for the sake of Krishna is transcendental consciousness. So there's no reaction to materialize. Yeah. So why there is no sin? Well, in Krishna consciousness, what to speak of sin? Even there's no material punya. Krishna consciousness is transcendental. Transcendental means beyond the conception of punya and papa. Sudam apapa vidam. Yeah. In the Sri Upanishad, it is described. Sudam apapa vidam. That Krishna consciousness activities is pure. Is untouched by punya and papa. Because both punya and papa, we have to have clear understanding here that both material, we talk about material punya, okay? Both punya and papa, it's just like two sides of a coin. Coin has two sides. They may look different, but it's still the same coin. So that's also applicable in our practice, in our life. Punya will bring us to heavenly planet. And then papa will bring us to hell, patala loka. But both punya and papa bound us here in the material world. If we still have little punya, little pious credit, we have to go to heaven to finish up that. And we still bound. And after that, sine punye martya lokam shanti. After the punya finished, we have to come down again. Still on the same cycle. Janma mrityu jara vyadi. Yeah, on the same cycle. So that's the end of the first part of the discussion, that Arjuna is defeated here by Lord Krishna. So Lord Krishna is using karma kanda. So if we analyze, first Lord Krishna is giving gyan, which is higher than karma. So in the second chapter, actually, Lord Krishna talks about the yoga ladder, but not systematically. If we see, Krishna speaks about gyan first, and then now he speaks about karma. And then now Krishna will speak about Buddhi Yoga, Niskama Karma. Yeah. So the yoga ladder actually starts from the third chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. We will talk about that a bit later. So here, by promising, that's a fact actually. If we die on the battlefield, we fight on the religious principle. Yeah, we will go to heaven if we die. So there is no reason for Arjuna not to fight here, using that argument, that enjoyment. Oh, if I get the kingdom, they all die. What is the use of my enjoyment without my family? Well, your family also enjoying in heaven. So don't worry, Arjuna, your family also enjoying in heaven. So both you and your grandfather will be happy. You are happy here in this earth, and he's happy in the heavenly planet. So fight. And then, now the next section. About Buddhi Yoga. Here, Buddhi Yoga fight but without any reaction. So this is the continuation of the text number 38. Yeah. Lord Krishna says, don't think about gain, loss, this and that. Just fight as Kshatriya because it is your duty and don't expect any result. So this is called Buddhi Yoga. Fight, but without any reaction. Karma and Gyan are combined together to engage the transcendentalist in work with knowledge. Krishna gives a brief explanation of Buddhi Yoga, working without attachment to the fruit. Okay. Another name of Buddhi Yoga is that Niskama Karma Yoga. Okay. Niskama Karma. Krishna also shows how attachment to sense enjoyment and material opulence, as given in the Karma Kanda section of the Vedas, is an obstacle to determination in devotional service. So now Krishna here speaks about a bit higher philosophy. Okay, in the previous verses, Krishna talks about Karma Kanda, but here Krishna will explain that, oh yeah, after all, we don't really need this Karma Kanda, because material enjoyment, because the idea of Karma Kanda is that you perform rules and regulation according to the Vedas just to get higher promotion in heavenly planet. So after said that, so now Krishna will tell Arjuna, after all, if you really want to advance in spiritual understanding, in Krishna consciousness, so Karma Kanda is not at all appreciated by the body, because that's obstacle. Therefore, Rupa Goswami explained, Bhakti means Jnana, Karma, Dhyana, Avritam, free from Karma and Jnana. Karma and Gyan refers to Karma, refers to Karma Kanda, Gyan refers to impersonal understanding. And then Buddhi Yoga, by Buddhi Yoga, one becomes indifferent to the Vedic rituals, gains freedom from sinful reactions, attains liberation from the cycle of birth and death, and goes back to Godhead. Lord Krishna thus defeats Arjuna's argument of fear of sinful reaction. Okay, so Buddhi Yoga is how Krishna defeats Arjuna's reason for not fighting by saying, oh, it is sinful if I kill them. So by Buddhi Yoga, still we perform our activities without reaction. Okay, text 39. Thus far I have described this knowledge to you through analytical study. Okay, Sankhya, analytical is Sankhya. To differentiate between matter and spirit is called Sankhya. Now, listen as I explain it in terms of working without further results. O son of Pritha, when you act in such knowledge, you can free yourself from the bondage of works. Because what is actually binding us in this material world? The result of our activities. Good result due to good activities. Bad result due to bad activities, but still good and bad bind us together. But when we are free from the result, through Buddhi Yoga, through Krishna consciousness, then there is no bondage. Srila Prabhupada explained in both ways the basic principles were for sense gratification, happiness derived from conquering them, and happiness derived by seeing instants alive are both on the basis of personal sense gratification, even at a sacrifice of wisdom and duty. So Srila Prabhupada talks here about sense gratification. Arjuna is concerning about his own sense gratification. Arjuna, said that, oh, it is my compassion, it is sinful, it is about enjoyment, about their enjoyment. But it's all about Arjuna's enjoyment. Yeah, it's all about Arjuna's enjoyment because he doesn't want to see his family die. So enjoyment, sense gratification. So what is the basic principles of sense gratification? This is question for all of you here. What is the basic principles of sense enjoyment? When we talk about sense enjoyment, when we talk about sense gratification, what is the basic principles of sense enjoyment? Anybody would like to answer?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, may I try?
Yes, sure. Pranab, Prabhu.
Prabhu, I feel like basically the senses which as our human body has, whatever gives pleasure to the senses, which is not related to searching for the absolute truth, which is not related to any transcendental activity which can take us back to our real home, is just something done out of material profit, material desire, material gain. That can be called sense gratification.
Yeah, very nice. Yes,
Thank
thank
you.
you so much, Prabhu. So sense gratification, sense enjoyment. The principle is that we are enjoying separate from Krishna. There's nothing to do with Krishna. We're just concerning ourselves. Then my next question could be, what about enjoying kirtan, enjoying prasadam? We feel happiness, right? Enjoying prasadam, satisfaction of the tongue. Sometimes even if our stomach is full, but when the prasadam is so tasty, we're still demanding. What about that, enjoying prasadam? Is that also in the category of sense enjoyment? Enjoying prasadam? What do you think on that?
Prabhu, may I answer this?
Yes, yes.
Thank you. Prabhu, first of all, this topic is controversial because as we read in Updeshamrit, even prasadam, we should honor, we should not use it for sense gratification. If it's too tasty, so I'll take it more. No, we should not do that because we have to control our tongue. It's very important in bhakti. So even if it's prasadam, we need to learn, to keep our senses in control. But yes, there are many activities like, if you're enjoying bhajan, kirtan, that is taking us nearer to God, that is helping us realize the absolute truth. So I think that is, very, very, very good, very okay compared to any material activity.
Nice. Yes. Srila Prabhupada, one time after giving a lecture on the Sunday Feast program, so now it's time for the devotees to take prasadam. So now the curtain of the altar is closed. Then Srila Prabhupada was sitting on the Vyasasana, witnessing how his disciples serving prasadam, and then they are sitting on the line, and then some devotees very enthusiastically distributing prasadam, and other devotees happily taking the prasadam, honoring the prasadam, and then while they are conversing also, some of them laugh like that while conversing and taking prasadam. And Srila Prabhupada smile seeing this scene. And then one of his disciples was asking, Srila Prabhupada, why are you smiling? Prabhupada said, I'm enjoying this. So Srila Prabhupada is enjoying his disciples, his followers, his guests, enjoying the prasadam. So that enjoyment, of course, as devotees, we have this consciousness, oh, it's prasadam, right? Although we have the mentality to enjoy, still, if somebody offer us something which is not offered, we will think 1,000 times before taking it, right? But when we know it's prasadam, okay, it's prasadam. And also Srila Prabhupada explained our Krishna consciousness activities is not a dry activities. It's full of enjoyment, full of bliss. Yeah, full of bliss, full of enjoyment. We sing, we dance, we eat. It's full of enjoyment. And that's also bring us nearer to Krishna. Yeah, susukam kartum avyayam. It's susukam kartum avyayam. When we perform, we get the bliss, we get the happiness. Yeah, bhakti parishanubhavo viraktir anyatra chaisatrika ekakalaha prapadya manasya yatharathasu tusti pustik sudapayo anugash. So bhakti will give satisfaction, tusti. Bhakti parishanubhavo. Parishanubhavo, we feel, we experience the presence of Krishna. It's not simply sentimental. Just like when we eat, we get satisfaction, we get happiness, and we feel our body becomes energized because we get the food. And then virakti, we become detached from the material world. So similarly, when we eat, we become free from hunger. So this is the process of bhakti. And yes, we should be happy. We should be happy in performing devotional service. And Srila Prabhupada once also mentioned that if a devotee morose, that means he's not practicing correctly. The symptoms of an advancing devotee is always happy. But when we become sad, that means something wrong in our practice. It is not the practice wrong, but we may commit some, aparad, nama aparad, or Vaisnava aparad, dhamma aparad. So that's about sense gratification. Yeah, Srila Prabhupada also explained that we dance, we sing, we eat, we go to Goloka Vrindavan. But those people dance in the club, sing in the club, they eat meat, this and that. So same thing, same activities, right? Eating, dancing, singing. But their activities will bring them to hell. But our activities will bring us to Krishna. Yeah. So yes, the basic principle of sense gratification is enjoying separately from Krishna. Enjoying separately from Krishna. Of course, in the one devotee was saying that, oh, where it is mentioned pizza and pasta in the Raja Boga song. Some devotees said, oh, we have to cook according to, this song book. All items mentioned. These are the items that Srimati Radharani prepared. Where it is mentioned pizza and pasta. Then we have we still have the attachment to pleasing our tongue. Then what to do if we love to eat pizza, for example? Yes, offer it to Krishna first. And that is called karma. Yeah, that is karma. In the 9th chapter, I'm sorry to jump a little bit because it's connected. In the 9.26, Patram Puspam Palam Toyam, that verse, that's actually Bhakti Yoga, pure devotional service. And then the next verse, Yat Karosyat Asnasyat Yohositadasyat, that is Karma Yoga. Because there is still the mentality of enjoying. Although we know that everything should be for Krishna. Therefore, Krishna says, whatever you cook, whatever you do, offer it to me first, right? So when we make pizza, you think Krishna loves pizza. There's no pizza mentioned in that song, right? But because we want to eat pizza, so we cook pizza. But we have the consciousness, okay, I cannot eat this before offering to Krishna. So in the beginning, we have this mentality to enjoy. But we don't want to eat that pizza if that pizza is not offered. Yeah, this is called karma. So whatever you do, whatever you perform, whatever you cook, charity you give away, do it for me. So it is not our own initiative. But Krishna just said, okay, instead of being completely disconnected to Krishna, okay, do it. Because the main principle of bhakti is that we do what Krishna wants, not what we want, but we do what Krishna wants. But sometimes we feel that, oh, I prefer this than that. So better we perform something but still connected to Krishna, and that is karma. Okay. And text number 40, Nihabhikramana Sosti Pratyavayo Na Vidyate Swapam Apyasa Dharmasya Trayate Mahatubhaya. This is a very famous verse also. In this endeavor, there is no loss or diminution, and a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. So in Buddha Yoga or Krishna consciousness, little bit advancement is actually will save us. Prabhupada gave the example of Ajamil in this book. Material activities and their results end with the body, but work in Krishna consciousness carries a person again to Krishna consciousness even after the loss of the body. So this is the nature of bhakti. Yeah, for example, if in this lifetime we perform bhakti and not success, of course, in the later chapter, it will be described that Suchinam Srimatam Gehe Yogo Brasto Vijayate. Those yogi, the unsuccessful yogi, what is their destination? Suchinam Srimatam Gehe. They will take birth in the family of Brahmana, Suchinam, and then Srimatam, or maybe in the rich family, and continue their practice. So similarly, if we, for example, somehow or other, we're not successful in this life, in our practice, in devotional service, so in the next life, we just need to continue from that level. Ajamila was performing devotional service in the beginning of his life. It may be up to 1 or 2%. And then later he continue again. There is no loss. In bhakti, there is no loss. Text 41. Vyavasayatmika buddhir ekeha kurunandana bhusaka hyanantascha buddhayo vyavasayinam. Those who are on this path are resolute in purpose and their aim is one. O beloved child of the Kurus, the intelligence of those who are irresolute is many branch. This is the difference between the mind of devotee and non-devotee. Yeah. Devotee simply think, how can I please Krishna? That's it. All activities centered on Krishna. And the non-devotee is thinking about so many things, holiday, money, house, pets, so-called love. Like this. They have so many branches in their mind, so they always disturb. But devotee always resolute in purpose, and their life is based only on Krishna, pleasing Guru, that's it. As by watering the root of a tree, one automatically distributes water to the leaves and branches. So by acting in Krishna consciousness, one can render the highest service to everyone, namely self, family, society, country, humanity, etc. Yeah. So there is a sutra. Sutra means just a short line, yeah, not the full verse, but sutra. Sutra means short line. There is sutra mentioned that Krishna tustam jagat tuste. When Krishna is pleased, the whole world is pleased. Yeah, just like in that purport, Srila Prabhupada giving the example just right. Watering the root of a tree will automatically satisfy the branches, the twigs, the leaves, the fruits, the flowers of the tree. So similarly, by pleasing Krishna, so everything will be taken care. So we are separately trying to please everybody, but it's not possible. Yeah, therefore, yathataror mula nisechanena tripyanti tat skanda bhujupasakaha pranopaharachaya tindriyanam tataiva sharvarhanam achyuteja. So achyuta ija, by worshipping Achyuta. So everybody in the universe will be satisfied. Just like yathataror mula nisechanena, watering the root of a tree, or by giving food to the stomach, all the senses will be enlivened, will be energized. Yeah, just by feeding the stomach. If you put rice, for example, and dal in your hands, thinking that I'm giving this to the hand and will energize the hand, that's a wrong understanding. So the hand should cooperate, put the rice and dal inside the mouth and send to the stomach. And all parts of the body will be enlivened, will be energized. So similarly, we don't have to think of so many things. What about money, especially money? Yeah, we worry about money. But if we just sincerely serving Krishna, so Krishna will take care of everything. Yeah. Ananyas chintayanto mam yejana paripasati tesam nitya abhyuktanam yogaksemam vaham. We have to have faith on this. Yogaksemam vaham vyaham. Krishna will bring, Krishna will carry. Krishna will carry what we need, not what we want. Okay? What we need. Because what we want and what we need may differ. Therefore, sometimes we may think that, oh, why Krishna doesn't give me a car? I want a car. Well, you want it, but you don't really need it. So Krishna will not give that. There is a difference between what you need and what you want, right? So for Krishna is concerning of your devotional practice. If car can make you advance in Krishna consciousness, Krishna will send you car, no problem. So yoga ksema mohamyam. Krishna said, I will carry personally, and I will protect the possession of that devotee. What they have, I will protect. What they lack, I will carry. So Arjuna Charya, one South Indian Brahmana, he was thinking that, oh, this sloka is not at all correct. How can Krishna carry? And then he changed that verse from yoga ksema wahami aham. Arjuna Charya changed that verse becomes yoga ksema karomi aham. That means somehow or other, I will manage to provide to that devotee. And we know the story that ultimately two boys came and then they were saying that, oh, we are the disciples, we are the students of Arjuna Charya. And he came to his wife. It's a long story. But the point is that we have to have faith. And our mind, our business just to please Krishna, and everything will unfold by itself. Money will be taken care. Food will be taken care. If Krishna is taking care of a dog in the street, why Krishna will not taking care of a devotee? Due to lacking of faith, actually, we are struggling in this life. Due to lacking of faith. I was advised that, if you want to live in Mayapur, you have to work outside Mayapur for 6 months. And then you come here and live happily. I have been here now almost 5 years. I didn't go out for work. Somehow or other, my needs are taken care of by Krishna. Somehow or other. That's Krishna's hand. Okay. So a devotee, just main focus of a devotee is just to please Krishna. Text number 42 and 43. Men of small knowledge are very much attached to the flowery words of the Vedas. So here Krishna, in the previous part of our discussion, we talk about karma kanda. Now here Krishna is actually blaming karma kanda. Men of small knowledge are very much attached to the flowery words of the Vedas. This is called Veda Vadarata, which recommend various spiritual activities for elevation to heavenly planets, resultant good birth, power, and so forth. Being desirous of sense gratification and opulent life, they say that there is nothing more than this. This is the mentality of the karmi. Only sense gratification. It is understood that there are gardens called Nanda Kanana, in which there is good opportunity for association with angelic, beautiful women and having a profuse supply of Somaras wine. So those who are less intelligent, they simply concerning about enjoyment. Yeah. When there was a fight, it is described in the 4th canto, when there was a fight between Daksa's follower and Lord Shiva's followers. Yeah, in the Daksa Yagya chapter in the 4th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So there was, insult after insult after insult. So Nandi was insulting Daksa like this. How is that sloka starts? Very beautiful. I used to quote that. Anyway, I forgot how the verse starts. But Nandi said that, oh, here it is. Grihesu kutadharmesu saktogramya sukechaya karma tantra vitanute vedavada vipinnadi. So vedavada vipinnadi means Grihesu kutadharmesu. Nandi said that those householders who are too attached to the result of the yagyic performance, because Daksha was performing big yagya. Those grihastha who are attached to karma tantra vita anute, karma and tantra, they are performing karma and tantra just for sense gratification. Kuttadharmesu sakto gramya sukechaya. Gramya sukha means just sense gratification. Gramya sukha, sense gratification. Veda vada vipinnati. Actually, they lost their intelligence. Why lost intelligence? Because the main purpose of performing yagya is to please Krishna. But when we perform yagya, we do some sacrifice to get some material gain, such as promotion to the heavenly planet. So in that sense, we have lost our intelligence. Veda vada vipinna adihi. So same thing also here mentioned by Krishna. Man of small knowledge. Small knowledge means less intelligence. They are too attached with the flowery words. So most of the section of the Vedas actually full of karma kanda. Flowery words. What is flowery word means? Promising something. If you do this, you will get this. If you do this, you go to heaven and you enjoy. There is Nanda Kanana garden. You can enjoy with beautiful apsaras, this and that. You can drink somarasa. So this is flowery words, full of allurement, material allurement. So those who are less intelligent, they will be captured by these flowery words of the Veda. So Krishna mentioned here, man of small intelligence. So in other words, actually Krishna is telling Arjuna, don't be so stupid. Don't be so stupid. Text 44. Bhogaishwarya prashaktanam taya pahrita chetasam vyavasayatmika buddhi samadhavana vidyate. This is also a very famous verse that explaining about those who are too attached to sense gratification, Bhoga and Aishwarya. So we just read the translation here. In the minds of those who are too attached to sense enjoyment and material opulence, Aishwarya means opulence, and who are bewildered by such things, the resolute determination for devotional service to the Supreme Lord does not take place. Samadhavana vidyate. So Samadhavana vidyate. Bhoga and Aishwarya will actually agitate our mind. And we become like less enthusiastic in devotional service when we get too much enjoyment. Bhoga means enjoyment, Aishwarya, opulence. But this is actually applicable for not pure devotee, like Indra, for example, or any other people. When people too rich, they don't care of God. But in the case of pure devotee can utilize everything in Krishna's service. Because bhakti is independent. The nature of bhakti is independent. Bhakti can be performed at any stage. That's how independent bhakti is. Whether we are rich or poor, we can perform bhakti, pure bhakti. Like Ambarish Maharaj, he is king and so rich, yet he is a pure devotee. Dhruva Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Harishchandra. They are all wealthy. The Pandavas, they are all wealthy. Yudhishthira Maharaj. But they utilize everything in Krishna's service. So one can be a pure devotee, although one is floating on money. because a devotee will see that money is Lakshmi. Lakshmi is always engaged in the service of Narayan. So the non-devotees, I think I have read one purport by Srila Prabhupada saying that those who are too attached with sense gratification, they simply want to please Lakshmi, just to get Lakshmi. But it is impossible that what Prabhupada said, I think he mentioned also about Sita and Ram, just like Ravana, just try to enjoy Sita separately from Ram. So it's not possible, and he will get punished. But the devotee who's serving Narayan, so Lakshmi becomes indebted toward that person. Okay, that's about Boga Ishwarya. Yeah, Boga and Aishwarya, enjoyment and opulence. This is a big stumbling block for us, yeah, those who are not steady in mind. They immediately become agitated. Yeah, too much. Samadhi is never possible for a person interested in material sense enjoyments and bewildered by such temporary things. So Samadhi means fixed in mind. Dridha Vrata. So Dridha Vrata means full of determination. So our determination will be disturbed by Bhoga and Aishwarya. If too much enjoyment, too much opulence. Text 45, Trigunya Visaya Veda Nistraigunyo Bhavarjuna Nidwando Nitya Sattvasto Niryoga Ksema Atma. The Vedas deal mainly with the subject of the three modes of material nature. For Arjuna, become transcendental to these three modes, be free from all dualities and from all anxieties for gain and safety, and be established in the self. All material activities involve actions and reaction in the three modes of material nature. They are meant for the results which cause bondage in the material world. So as earlier I mentioned that good result also create bondage. Yeah. Therefore, bhakti is transcendental to good and bad. So one time in the a yatra, I heard this lecture from Gauranga Prabhu, disciple of Raghunath Maharaj, Gauranga Prabhu, Brahmachari. So he was giving a class that one time in yatra, so devotees went to Vrindavan. And then one devotee was asking His Grace Dinabandhu Prabhu, what is the result of taking bath in Jamuna? Because they are visiting Jamuna. What is the result? What will happen if we take bath in Jamuna? So Dinabandhu Prabhu said that if you take bath in Ganga, it will destroy all your sinful reactions. If you take bath in Yamuna, it will destroy your sinful reaction and also will destroy your punya. And half of the devotees now start thinking, should I take bath in Yamuna or not? Because they're afraid that their punya also will be destroyed. But taking bath in Yamuna will give us prema. That's higher than anything. Therefore, bhakti is transcendent. Sudama papavidam, pure, uncontaminated. So give up karma kanda, raise to Buddha Yoga platform. So here, Krishna is advising to Arjuna that, okay, give up karma kanda and raise to Buddha Yoga platform. Because when we perform Buddha Yoga or Niskama Karma Yoga, or combining the karma and jnana together, so we become free from reaction of our activities, yeah, because we are not expecting any result. Text 46. Yavanartha udapane sarvata sampritodake avan sarveshu vedeshu brahmanasya vijana. all purposes served by a small well can at once be served by a great reservoir of water. Similarly, all the purposes of the Vedas can be served to one who knows the purpose behind them. How is the purpose of the Vedic culture best served? Okay, first of all, this is an analogy. This sloka is an analogy that all purposes served by small well immediately served by big reservoir of water. Just like, a well, there's so many wells, but if we have big lake, then we can get a lot of money. A lot of water. I am saying a lot of money. Yeah, a lot of water. And all the purposes of the Vedas can be served by a person who knows the purpose behind all this. So what is the purpose of studying the Vedas? That's the question. What is the purpose of studying the Vedas? Manish Prabhu.
Yes, bro. To know Krishna. In 15.7 he mentioned. Okay, bro.
To know Krishna. Yeah. Vedai sachar ved aham eva vidyo vedanta krit veda vedeva chaham. Yeah, Krishna says that in the 15th chapter. Thank you, Prabhu. So to know Krishna, well, to know Krishna does not simply mean to know Krishna. I know Krishna. For example, like here, people in India, everybody knows Krishna in India. But to know Krishna means to engage in Krishna's service, to understand our position as Krishna's servant. That's the real meaning of to know Krishna. Yeah, to know Krishna. Yomam evam mashamudo janati purushotama sasarva ved bhajante mam sarva bhavena bharata. This is the purport of to know Krishna. Yomam evam asamudo, one who is no longer bewildered. Asamuda. Samuda, samoha means bewildered, but asamuda means not bewildered. One who is not bewildered, yomam. They know me. Krishna says, they know me. That means they're not bewildered. What is the symptom? Janati Purushottama. They know Krishna as the Purushottama. The Purusha Uttama. The topmost enjoyment, the topmost enjoyer, the supreme enjoyer is Krishna. And then Sasarvavid Bhajantima. Sasarvavid means they know everything. One who knows Krishna as the supreme enjoyer, that means they know everything. They know the conclusion of the Vedas. And then bhajantemam, naturally they will engage in Krishna's service. Sasarvavid bhajantemam, sarva bhavena bharata. And they use all their bhava. Bhava means love, emotion. So one who engages in Krishna's service with love and devotion, that means Sasarvavid. He knows everything. He knows the conclusion of the Veda. Then we have discussed about the purpose of studying the Vedas. And then now the next question is that how is the purpose of the Vedic culture best served? So Srila Prabhupada explained, the best purpose of the Vedic culture is served, however, by chanting the holy name of the Lord, as recommended by Lord Chaitanya, the deliverer of all fallen souls. In this age of Kali, most of the population is foolish and not adequately educated to understand Vedanta philosophy. The best purpose of Vedanta philosophy is served by inoffensively chanting the holy name. Prabhupada is talking about the holy name here. In fact, in the 6th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is very nicely explained. Yeah, how bhakti start. Etavan eva lokesmin pumsam dharma parasmrita Bhakti yogo bhagavate tanama grahana adi. So bhakti yogo bhagavate. Bhakti to the Lord start by tanama grahana adi. Adi means beginning. As soon as we accept the holy name, tanama grahana means accepting the holy name. Accepting means to chant, start to chant the holy name. So bhakti start. That's why Srila Prabhupada mentioned here the Vedic, the conclusion of the Vedic literature is to serve Krishna. And then how that service start is by chanting. And especially inoffensively. I highlighted that verse, that word, inoffensively chanting the holy name. Yeah. All right. Up to this point, I will stop here because time is up. We'll continue tomorrow. So just to conclude our today's session, that we have discussed about Krishna's argument to defeat Arjuna's reasoning not to fight about enjoyment by karma kanda. And then after describing about karma kanda, so now here Krishna is smashing karma kanda, defeating karma kanda by buddhi yoga. So if you act in Krishna consciousness, there is no sin. Okay. So actually whatever we do, actually we cannot avoid sinning, even while sitting, while stepping, while walking. Somebody will be killed. While cooking, somebody will be killed. But it becomes free of karma when we dedicate those activities in Krishna's service. Otherwise, our activities, it's unavoidable to kill some smaller entities, which is unseen by our bare eyes. Yeah. When pouring water in the jar, also we are killing somebody. All right, that's Buddha yoga. So this is the art actually. The art of Krishna consciousness is that to utilize everything in Krishna's service. In that way, we are free from sin. Okay, we continue. Tomorrow at the same time from the text number, what is that? Text number 47. Yeah, still about Buddha yoga. Thank you very much. Were there any question or comments before I stop this class? Yeah. If there is no, Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you.